Hey guys, what's going on? It's your girl Michelle King coming at you, soulful nutrition and wellness, where evolution is essential for growth. So it's my pleasure to be here again. I'm looking forward to having a discussion on a topic that I think is very important to each and every one of us. It's important to our family members, our neighbors, all that you pass by, as you have your way out and about. But the topic is going to be on advocacy. Advocacy. My goal is to go from A to Z, presenting a different topic with starting with each letter, the letter of the alphabet, so A, B, C, D. But doing this until I get all the way to Z. Now, the topics will be random. My passion is health and wellness, but again, I'm a registered nurse, over 35 years working in healthcare. So I started, in 1991 as a nurse assistant before we even had to become certified as nurse assistants. Then came 1992 and it became a requirement that you get a certification. So I've been in the game for quite some time, and I have a passion when it comes to health and wellness and you advocating for yourself and just knowing that it is okay to speak up on your behalf and your loved one's behalf. So again, advocacy, let's hop right into what advocacy would be. The concepts of advocacy is for you to be able to take care of yourself. So personal self-advocacy is what I will be speaking on, and individual advocacy. Personal advocacy. When you go to the doctor's office, or see your healthcare professional, aren't you nervous? Kind of scared, no one wants to be sick. And then it is the doctor, medical doctor, physician, with a lot of education. And typically, I know with myself in the past, I would become pretty timid about speaking up on my behalf, even while working in healthcare for so many years. But one day, the light bulb came on, and I said, you know what? I got to stop being afraid to ask questions about what's going on with my own health and my own well-being, because I always firmly believe that no one knows you better than you. So you live in your body, you live in your existence, and for someone else to know what you're going through, you would have to speak up about it. And not only speak up about it, but possibly look up a certain diagnosis and things like that and come with questions. But there's this thing called white coat syndrome. I'm sure some of you are familiar with white coat syndrome, where it's just something about the white coats. And it doesn't have to be a white one. It could be a sky blue one, a teal jacket. It's just something about having to speak with someone that you look up as as being authority. So a doctor, takes a long time to get, obtain that title. So anyway, when you become a patient, and I know that there's many of you that have been patients or know people that have been, patients and now having to rely on being in a healthcare setting, you got to know what's going on. It is up to you to begin to study on your diagnosis and ask questions regarding your diagnosis. So going back to advocacy, you need to understand what your labs are, what they mean, what they're interpreting, what those numbers mean, those ranges, why they're taking it, why are they even drawing those labs and wanting numbers for those certain tests, what they mean, what it is that you can do as far as lifestyle changes to help said labs, whether they're within range or whether they are on a low or a high side. Advocating for yourself is essential to you living well. So with that being said, the time has come where we must know that it is okay to question what the doctor is telling you. You know what I'm saying? When you go to pick up prescriptions at the pharmacy, and they always tend to ask you, do you want to speak with the pharmacist? Do you have any questions? If you have questions, then you need to start speaking up, because you want to know how to take your medications, why you're taking your medications, and what is the end result that we are looking for in regards to taking said medications. I am not against medications. They have their purpose, but I do believe that we must know why we are taking the meds that we are taking and how long, and its effects, its side effects, contraindications, all of those things. And all of these different words and terms that I'm bringing up really could fall under different letter groups, you know what I mean? So, but it's still a part of advocating for yourself. If you are a willing, well-able body mentally, you need to be speaking up for yourself. It's not even just about speaking up for yourself in a doctor's office, on your job, off your job, in the store. Assertive. That's another term we can discuss, being assertive. So if you're going to advocate for yourself, you must be assertive. You cannot be passive when it comes to you. It took me some time to get there. It took me some time to peel back again the layers of onions and templates on how we should just let things pass. We don't have time to be just letting stuff pass anymore. Sidebar, do you see all that's going on in the world today? It's always been there. There's nothing new under the sun. And the scriptures lets us know that. I think it's in the book of Ecclesiastes. There's nothing new under the sun. There are wars and rumors of wars, but if you watch a little bit too much of what's going on in the headlines today, you'll be living in fear. So with that being said, you don't have time to live in fear. We have to pray. We have to keep it moving. We have to advocate for ourselves, and we need to take care of ourselves as best as we can. So advocacy is you knowing that it is okay to speak up for yourself. You are supposed to do so. You do it in a respectable manner. There's an expression, you get more flies with honey. You know what I'm saying? So the concepts of advocacy is what we're talking about. Let's go to individual advocacy. Individual advocacy is when you are speaking up for someone else. You are speaking up for your loved ones, your next door neighbor, mostly probably a parent, grandparent, that maybe they're not able to speak up for themselves anymore. For instance, dementia and Alzheimer's disease. Dementia and Alzheimer's is progressive, so at some point, your loved one may no longer be able to make decisions for themselves. So that's when you have now become an individual advocate for someone. An example of that would be power of attorney. Power of attorney, POA. The power of attorney is someone that would be able to make legal, medical, and financial decisions for someone else, and it is on paper. We tend to not take care of these type of things because we look at, just being honest with you, if you're signing papers as a power of attorney, it's we instantly think about, losing someone, losing a loved one to sickness and disease, and they've passed on, from this realm. But guess what? I'm learning that at the end of the day, even though we're fearful, if you don't have these forms, in place, these decisions in place, and as I'm talking to you, there's some things that I could still make sure that I take care of as well. But yeah, we need to make sure that we have these forms in place, so if the time comes, then it's already set and you don't have to make decisions at the spur of the moment, last minute decisions in regards to what you or your loved one would want to happen in the place where they can't speak for themselves. So, power of attorney. You are able to make legal, medical, and financial decisions on behalf of someone else, but it has to be written. Then you got surrogate or proxy. A surrogate or proxy can make decisions for personal care. So not so much for financial situations, but for personal care in regards to a loved one or a friend, whomever has entrusted you to be their surrogate. So there is a difference between the two, but at the same time, it falls under advocacy. It falls under you having a voice, being a voice for someone else, and it is okay to do so. Speak up about your apprehensions. It's okay to speak up about your fears. Write it down if you have to. Come together. We, again, afraid to have meetings with one another. We don't want to talk about leaving here, so therefore, we avoid meeting with one another to discuss these things, and it's time out for that. It's a lot going on, y'all. We're supposed to live in peace and harmony, and you can do that if you begin to set things in place, put things in perspective. So yeah, and listen, I'm not coming from a place of having it all figured out. The brand is Soulful Nutrition and Wellness, mind, body, spirit. So it's about the whole you. Let's take a journey toward wellness together. So let's, that's me. That's me too. And I'm presenting to you what I feel in my heart that needs to be presented, because it's been presented to me. There's no way that I could sit on 35 years of healthcare experience, but having a heart for mankind since very young. I can remember as far back as, the age of 5, just having, a heart for mankind. So that's a gift from God to me. So listen, I'm new to this YouTube thing. I'm new to, creating videos, but I'm not new to speaking to the peoples about important topics. I don't mind talking about things that people don't want to talk about. I'm your girl, and it's just time for it. So anyway, personal advocacy, you speaking up for yourself, knowing what it is that you need. Individual advocacy, you are speaking up for someone else on their behalf. So moving right along, I came upon something that was called the 3 C's of advocacy. And it does say AI overview. Now listen, real quick, y'all. I didn't look up, I didn't ask GP chat or whatever it's called. I'm still learning all the terms. I didn't ask, anything. I just simply typed in advocacy, but this came up. An AI overview. Real quick, what I was going to say is know AI, be acquainted with it, but at the same time, continue to be who it is that God has for you to be. Again, there is evolution, and technology has flipped some pages and created new chapters like you wouldn't believe, and it is useful. But never, ever, ever forget who you are. And if you don't know who you are, begin to go deep, soulful. Begin to go deep within you to find out who you are so that you can become your authentic self, and so that you can be all that you can be, and so that you can help the next person. So AI is important, but you got to be who you are and still have a voice, not AI's voice. So with that being said, AI overview, the 3 C's of developer advocacy are connect, communicate, and collaborate. It says these 3 elements are crucial for effective advocacy efforts. Connecting involves building networks and relationships that support the advocacy cause. Communicating is about effectively sharing information and raising awareness about the issue. Finally, collaboration is about working together with others to pool resources and amplify the impact. That's beautiful, y'all. That's beautiful. That sounds positive to me. That sounds like some elevation. That sounds like it's for each and every one of us. Advocacy is important. There is too much going on. There is too much knowledge and resources out there for us to not know what it is, who it is, how it is. Your voice is important when it comes to you, your care, the care of your neighbor, the care of your pets, whatever it is that you know that you hold near and dear to your heart, you need to be advocating for it. Okay? So, the 3 components to self-advocacy is next. What are the 3 components to self-advocacy? They are know yourself. I keep saying that, I know yourself. It says the first step in self-advocacy is learning everything you can about your needs, disabilities, strengths, and challenges. Disabilities is anything from I'm no good in math, I need to get a tutor, to what are the laws for someone that's confined to a wheelchair. That is what a disability is. It could be you not knowing how to do the algebra equations, to your child that has ADHD and just needs more attention. Your strengths are important. What are you good at? What are you good at? If you're good at turning the rope and Susie's good at jumping in between the rope, then I would suggest that you turn the rope and Susie do the jumping, the double dutching. Because see, I was never good at double dutching. I was never too good with dancing. I can, I guess shake a tail feather when I want to, but at the end of the day, what are your strengths? Know what you are good at, and be okay with admitting that you are good at it. Also, you must be acquainted with your challenges. What is it that's not so good for you? Just because one person can run a mile on the treadmill and you can only do a half a mile, it's okay. You doing it, you moving. And so that's what's most important. Know what your strengths and your challenges are. If you know that you have been on your job for 20 years and you've almost become an expert at that thing, own it. It's cool. It's okay. Stay humble, but it's okay. But also know in those 20 years what may still be a challenge for you on that job, So know yourself. Know your labs, your numbers. When it comes to your health and wellness, know your numbers. Understand them. That's knowing you. Know your needs is the second one. Know your needs. Identify your needs and wants and ask for help in meeting them. You know how it is. We don't want to ask nobody for nothing. We want to do it ourselves. You know, my mindset coach, Coach K, my mindset coach, she says, you know, I used to be a woman of strength, but now I'm a woman that's strong. It's like women are always looked upon as just being an individual that's just walking around just strong all the time, when in reality, we really don't have too much of an option, because it's things that we got to do. But know your strengths, but what you are weak in, also admit that too, because we don't know everything. So, and ask for help when it's needed. Sometimes you can ask for help if it's not needed. Just see if someone's gonna do that thing. Are they willing? You know, test, folks. Thirdly, know how to get what you need. Know how to get what you need. So, what are your resources? In advocating for yourself, you should be acquainted with what your resources are. If you aren't, how to find them, whether it's, you know, social media, search engines, whether it's on your job and you go to the manager and, you know, you want to talk to a therapist because your job offers it. But just knowing where your resources are and not being afraid to ask for help when you need it. So again, this about ties up this talk on advocacy. I hope and pray that it will help someone and delight you in knowing that it is okay to ask questions. It is okay to give your input. It is okay if you don't agree with what is being said. It is okay to disagree and have your own insight. Woman's view is always different than another man's or woman's view perception of things. So one man's view is different than another man's perception. But at some point, I'm sure the focus for us all and for community is to be able to, you know, collaborate and come together. So with that being said, I thank you for tuning in to Soulful Nutrition and Wellness, Mind, Body, Spirit, where evolution is essential for growth. I also look forward to talking to you hopefully soon on the letter B. We'll come up with a term on the letter B, and that will be presented. If you have any ideas on certain concepts, you can always put it in the chat. And is it the chat, or just leave me a message, and I will begin to look at them and just pray about it. And you pray for me, because I want to give you what I know is important and conducive to your well-being. With that being said, peace.